Hello, everyone. Today is August 2nd, 2019. I am Caleb.
And I'm Anthony.
And we are
The Rivals.
It's been like 7 months.
Quite some time.
Since we did a together one.
Together.
Yeah.
I think it might have been more than 7 months.
When did I get back? August. I got back in August. We did one since then?
Maybe.
This is our second one?
Yeah.
It's August already. Yeah.
So it's been a year.
We've done one podcast, one episode in the last 12 months.
Well, good thing we make millions of dollars per episode.
Per episode, yeah, so we can live off.
Just the one.
Just one, nice. I like it. So, how have you been?
Busy. Life of an attorney.
Yeah, you know.
You're soon to be that.
Hopefully.
So why were you on hiatus for the past 2 months?
The last 3 months was the pesky licensing, the bar, so I can work legally.
As opposed to illegally?
Well, as opposed to just not
working. Not bringing in an income.
Right. $20 as a clerk, $20 an hour isn't enough to satisfy the wife. She's like, I want to quit working and you need to make more money.
Especially since she's the primary breadwinner.
Yes. That is correct.
How does that feel?
You know, it's fine. I always said I would love to be a stay-at-home dad.
I tell Danny that all the time.
Yeah.
I absolutely say, listen, if you want to make more money than me, I have no problem with it.
Nope. I have very little pride in that. When it comes to that, I will cook and clean and then play video games the rest of the day.
And watch some football.
And watch some soccer, absolutely.
Yeah. I say football,
yeah.
And you say soccer.
Yeah. Just in case anyone's wondering what kind of football we're talking about.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So it was also a busy summer. We watched the Gold Cup.
We watched the Gold Cup, yes.
Yeah. I think I owe you. How much did I bet you? Like $10 that we were going to lose that semi against Haiti. I think I told you.
You did.
Was
you
it
haven't
$10?
paid that up yet, by the way.
I haven't. I don't carry cash.
I never carry cash ever
because I'll spend it.
Yeah.
On. Well, I think I could use some gum.
Mine is I had $20. I seem to have misplaced my $20.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, I don't think we ever finished talking, other than the final. That obviously it didn't satisfy you. But what do you think of the Gold Cup as a tournament? Because I did a little solo special kind of thing.
Yeah.
Before, and I said, I think both Mexico and the U.S. need to approach it differently because it's a money-making scheme for CONCACAF. So, and did either team take it seriously?
I think the U.S. took it seriously. I mean, they brought what Greg Berhalter thought was their best squad, but at the end of the day, it was he's only been the coach for 2 months. He's had maybe one window, maybe two. I mean, this was his chance to implement his system over a 3-4 week period.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was. I mean, it was. I had no care in the world if we won it. Now, when we made it to the final, and on the other side was Mexico, all I wanted to do was win it. But
right.
if it had been Jamaica, if it had been Haiti, I wouldn't have cared.
Right.
I would have said, we lose it, I don't care. I just want to see us play beautiful soccer, build a foundation. And I think we did that, honestly, at the end of the day.
Because going from your friendlies to what you actually did in the tournament, I was genuinely worried that you guys are going to beat us. Because I was the same way. I didn't care about the tournament. We had almost an entire starting 11 that didn't show up or was injured or hurt themselves at the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go home and got replaced. So by the time the team got started, I was like, this is not our best team.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't our best team either.
Right, but that's why I stopped. I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I hope this is like a tryout for some of these guys. But then I saw you guys performing. And on the one hand, I was like, man, they're winning everything, and they're slot. They haven't let a goal in. And then I was like, wait. On the other hand, they have an easy group. They have an easy bracket. But on the other hand, I was like, do I care? Of course I care. Like you. Like if we had played anyone else, Panama,
you wouldn't have cared.
I wouldn't have cared as much.
Yeah.
But that final was what everyone wanted.
I think I read somewhere that the U.S. hasn't beaten Mexico in a game that mattered in 6 years.
In a final. Because you beat us
when?
In the last, not this last World Cup qualifying cycle, but the one before that, you beat us in Columbus. 2-1.
So 4 years ago, though, still?
So I guess
5
it would be
years
6.
ago, yeah. That's still 5 years. I mean, I think we beat you last year in a friendly, 1-0, right?
Yeah.
That was Tyler Adams' goal.
Yeah.
The hero, who wasn't at the Gold Cup, by the way,
Right.
who I think is the most important player to the U.S. team, and I will maintain that.
Not a certain number 22, Chelsea?
Not Christian Pulisic, number 22. I'm so happy he's number 22.
Yeah.
So happy he's number 22.
It's a good number.
I didn't want 10. Want 10. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
That's a preview. But at the end of the day, I think the tournament was successful. I think people are angry because we ended up losing to Mexico in the final, and you just don't want that to happen. But, I would maintain that the first 20 minutes of that game, we were the better. I think the first half.
The first half.
We were the better team.
You should have won.
I think we had plenty of chances to put away goals.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. And that's just how it ends up sometimes. I think the second half you guys made changes. We didn't make changes. I think Tata Martino outcoached Greg Berhalter when it came to in-game adjustments.
Right.
But I think the first half was ours, absolutely.
You could have been up 2-0 at half
think so.
easy if you had a better striker.
I mean, I think we were texting during it. I said, wow, this is incredible. Like, honestly, I was hyped. And then they came out and Tata made changes. Greg didn't. And then at one point, I think in like the 80th minute, we subbed in a left back. And I mean, he just got too cute with it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened at the end of the day. Overall, I think call it a success for both teams.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, from a Mexico fan standpoint, considering half our I think it was 8 probable starters.
Yeah.
Didn't even show up. But as a genuine, just I don't want to say neutral because I'm obviously not neutral. But if I were to say I'm a neutral observer, I would have loved to have seen a not U.S. Mexico final, just to give another team a chance.
Your biggest thing is that it's always hosted in the U.S.
It's
right?
always hosted in the U.S.
This is the first time they had, and I know you're going to laugh at this and scoff at it, but 2 games were played outside of the U.S. this time, I think.
Yeah, Costa Rica hosted and
Jamaica
hosted.
Is that progress?
Does
it mean nothing?
It's definitely progress. Yeah. But I would love to see, and I think this is the one I keep going back to, but I'd love to see a Panama-Costa Rica dual hosting. That's what I would like to see. And I think it's entirely doable. Or just an all-Canada. If you don't even want to have it in Mexico because it's going to give us the advantage.
Yeah, I think Canada could absolutely
host. Yeah. And it would be a boon to its soccer culture. And it would help the little guys because I think the U.S. fans and Mexico fans would travel anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to travel.
I mean, the Mexico fans we know will.
100%.
Mexico is a home team in the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's not even close.
No. And I think I told you I read it wasn't this last World Cup, might have been maybe it was the one before. Mexicans, U.S.-based Mexicans, traveled the most out of any country. Like, Mexico had the biggest representation. A lot of people thought it was like American fans are traveling a lot, but it was mostly the Mexican fans living in the U.S. because they have the expendable income.
I believe it.
To go abroad. And we were the most. In fact, we had more representation this last Gold Cup per game, like average attendance, than Brazil did in the Copa America.
I'm going to take us down a rabbit hole, but even jumping a step further, the Mexican Liga MX still, to this day, out televised numbers, like television numbers, MLS, in the United States. And they even out televise
some
Premier League games.
Yeah, especially like in like the southwest portion.
You still feeling like a bet man? I got a bet for you.
Go for it.
5 years, maybe a little bit more, but I'm going to say 5 years. I think it's a safe number. You will see a combined Liga MX MLS.
5 years?
5 years.
I could see that. They're pushing that.
They're pushing it already.
I don't want to bet that because I see that
The Leagues Cup, they just expanded.
That's so dumb.
It's a BS tournament.
It's so dumb. Nobody cares.
It's going to infuriate me because the fact that we don't have an open system here and then we're going to end up combining with Liga MX at some point is just... It infuriates me. It does because as a Tampa Bay Rowdies supporter, I want my team to be able... And Tampa Bay Rowdies are in the first place, by the way. They're the best team in USL.
Sure are.
If at the end of the season it finished, they would be one of 2 or 3 teams that would go promoted.
Yep. I was going to say I meant promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. And I don't know. Yeah, it's dumb. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Um, that League Cup thing, like I saw it and I was like, why is this important? It's just like a little mini tournament between the two leagues.
And they've already expanded it next year. It's I think 4 teams from each league this year. Next year it's more. It's like a 16-team tournament next year.
That we already have Champions League. Why
this
are we,
is the
Europa League.
Europa League,
Yes, yeah.
but it's only Mexico and U.S. So it's just, I mean, it means nothing.
Well, if we're being honest, it's the only two leagues that matter in North America. No offense to Costa Rica or any other.
Maybe, but at the end of the day, I mean, you can't take yourself seriously as the Europa League if you have 2 leagues.
No,
and I get it. At the end of the day, it's probably going to be 2 Mexico teams in the final. But the 2 most likely candidates are U.S., MLS and Liga MX,
Yeah.
and I think it's not the same if we're not including the other leagues. To me,
I agree. That's another reason why I say the things I say about the Gold Cup. I don't think it promotes an even tournament for everyone.
okay. I just keep taking us down a rabbit
Yeah.
hole, and we're supposed to have segments, but
Yeah.
we haven't done this in a while, so we're going to keep talking. The new World Cup qualifying. Have you seen it and how it works?
No.
Okay, so teams. I think I'm going to infuriate you here. Before you would have a pool of all the CONCACAF teams, and they kind of funnel.
Yeah.
And you'd go from qualifying to then the best teams in qualifying would go to the hex.
Yeah.
Now in the hex, the top, I want to say 4 or 5 teams automatically qualify based on FIFA rankings. And the last team gets in based on qualifying through all the bottom feeder teams.
So hold on. So once you reach the hex, based on FIFA...
No, you get into the hex. You don't qualify for the hex anymore. The top 5 teams are only based on FIFA rankings.
That can't be. That's not merit-based. How is that possible? How is that even... So you're saying like Trinidad and Tobago is never going to qualify for the hex?
Essentially, it's a fight for the 6th spot. Or the 5th and the 6th spot, right? Because the 6th spot is going to get in through qualifying based on all the other teams, like the pool coming up. And then the 5th spot is whoever's the 5th best team in FIFA standing. So
if you guys could see my face.
I said it's going to upset you. What I'm telling you is
CONCACAF is a joke.
CONCACAF is a joke, and there is no way ever that the U.S. and Mexico will never qualify for the hex, which was almost impossible anyway. I mean, to not make it through the into the hex.
Yeah.
It was
still.
But still, yeah.
That's how can anyone take us seriously in the world when this is the stuff that we're doing?
I don't have an answer for
like,
you.
Who came up with that? Whose bright idea was that?
Well, the 2 most powerful nations in the hex.
It's going to be Canada, Costa Rica, Mexico, U.S. every single time. In Canada,
right now,
we're going to get our stat guys on that.
Yeah, we'll get our team on it and figure out what the FIFA rankings are right now.
That's beyond ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense.
So right now, if the hex were to start today, right now, well, actually June 14th, because that's the last time they were released.
Okay.
Mexico was ranked number 18 in the world and would be the first team to qualify for the hex automatically.
So there's no group stages anymore?
There's no group stages. It goes straight to the hex. And then the hex teams...
After everyone else, after the plebes, this go out, right? Is that what you're saying? So like all the little islands, they'll fight each other with Central American.
For the 6th spot.
Right. 6th. Not
the
5th.
6th spot.
Not 5th.
Not 5th.
So it's the top 5 teams.
It's the top 5 teams. Yes, I believe it's the top 5.
So once Highlander, there can only be one. Once Highlander is decided, then the other 5 teams are just automatic.
Yes.
That's so dumb. Anyway, go ahead. So Mexico would be first.
So Mexico would be first. The U.S. would be 2 at 30th in the world.
Okay.
3 would be Costa Rica.
Yeah.
At 39th in the world. 4 would be Jamaica at 54th.
Oh, not Canada.
5 would be Honduras at 61.
What?
So right now you're missing Canada. El Salvador is actually number 6, which is crazy.
Above Canada?
And I don't understand how.
Okay.
Even Haiti knocked out Canada.
Yeah.
And then played you guys a hell of a game.
Hell of a game.
And Haiti is in 11th right now. FIFA rankings are bullshit.
Well, they are. We'll bleep that out.
Sorry. This is a brown liquor special. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, we are.
So
you're saying like the teams that are... Okay.
I mean, the U.S. and Mexico has been in every hex ever since this type of format was done. So, I mean,
that's hardly
it
the point.
doesn't change much, but right. The point is how you get there.
Well, that's disappointing.
It is.
To hear.
It is.
Like I said, it's going to be really hard to take CONCACAF seriously by anyone else when this is the kind of stuff that there's no adversity for the teams to make it that far.
Well, the Nations League is new, and teams have to do well
That's
in
true.
the Nations League
and that'll boost their rankings. So maybe the idea is that's the okay.
So the U.S. plays Canada and Cuba. If they lose both games to Canada and Cuba, you have to think they both. I don't want to say jump the U.S. because I don't know if that's even possible, but they'll jump spots.
Canada could move up, but I mean, if Cuba could keep their players from, I think I told you like Cuba's tournament ended up being like 0 goals for, 11 goals against, 0 wins, 0 draws, 3 losses, and like six people bailing on their country, which is sad. I think more people bailed than they scored goals.
It's going to happen in 2 months or 1 month when the U.S. plays Cuba again.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, shall we get to the...
I think that's enough of the international game.
So, okay. So, what we wanted to talk about is the Premier League starts in a week.
1 week.
1 week, exactly
today. It's been a long
today.
summer, I feel like. I missed it.
Yeah, same. And that means the transfer window is nearing its end for England. I think the continent lasts a little bit
Europe
longer.
goes, I think, a week or two longer. England ends, I think, the 9th or the 7th.
Yeah.
And today's August 2nd.
Yeah. So, we wanted to talk about transfers. Now, for Chelsea, it's a little different.
Complicated?
It's not complicated. It's just different. It's not complicated at all.
It doesn't exist?
But you were still able to sign... Well, technically, Pulisic came in winter in the January transfer.
Correct.
But technically, you signed Kovacic.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Because it was an option to buy.
Because it was an option to buy.
We had him on loan.
Right.
Which kind of skirts the rules.
Right. But those are your 2 transfers. Let's call them transfers.
First and foremost, let's talk about the only way we can get to this season is discuss the end of last season. And we know the last season finished with London blue.
Yes.
Did London not finish blue?
It finished a color. Yes.
Very blue.
It wasn't very blue. It was...
I mean, was it red?
It definitely wasn't red.
Was it white?
It was mostly white, and then at the end it turned blue.
At the end it turned blue.
At the bitter end.
At the bitter end, the blue team passed the white team in the Premier League standings.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
And then the blue team beat the red team in the Europa League final.
That is correct. Blew them out, I believe.
London is blue.
Yeah.
My hands are in the air, people.
Your hands are in the air.
So that leads us to the transfer window.
I don't know how.
I mean, after London being blue, and it still remains blue to this day, it's a difficult season for Chelsea. We obviously have gotten rid of Maurizio Sarri.
I did want to ask you about that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about coming in, winning a European trophy, and then getting the boot because the fans didn't like him? Did you like him?
So I think we've had this conversation. I think what he tried to do and what he did, I mean, he was successful. At the end of the day, we finished top 3. We won a trophy. Very successful campaign. Somehow we sign coaches and they win and then they leave. I mean, that's just our alma mater at this point. I don't know how to say it. Was he successful and did I think he deserved another season.
Yeah.
I don't think we needed to fire him.
Did he leave or did he get fired? Do we know?
I think it was a mutual parting of the ways.
Okay, yeah, that's very diplomatic.
Very, very legal-esque,
Yeah,
and diplomatic to say the least. At the end of the day, I'm not upset. Frank Lampard has coached for one season, but he almost brought Derby up in one season. Took him all the way to the final. Lost to John Terry of all people in Aston Villa. I think he's going to be a good coach.
You think so?
I do.
You think he's going to have a good first season?
I do.
Okay.
I think within reason. We have to be reasonable.
Right.
I think the roster's not strong. I don't think it was strong last season. And I think we're really, really going to miss Eden Hazard. I mean, it's people think it's going to be an easy change, and it's just not. Look at Real Madrid with Ronaldo. Real Madrid has an amazing team, and they're just not that great.
Right.
At this point in time. They're not. And I think the presence that he had on the field, Hazard, is irreplaceable. And so I think it's going to be a challenge. I like what Lampard's system is, though. It's very pressing. It's like a 4-2-3-1, so which means Conte's going to be back in his normal position.
Yeah.
And I think with Christian Pulisic, it's going to be a good season.
So Willian is wearing the number 10 shirt.
I'm so happy about that.
So I've always said that I thought Willian was really, really good. And you say that him and Hazard were very similar players. Do you think he'll be able to fill the role?
I do. I think he's going to step up big time.
Yeah.
I think the one season where Hazard was really, really bad, the best player on our team that season was Willian, by far. It wasn't even close. He was hitting free kicks left and right. Yeah. I think we're going to see a big, big season from him. And I think he's going to play on one side. I think it's going to be Pulisic and Pedro fighting it out. I think every game you're going to see somebody different, which I'm fine with. Christian's 20 years old. He doesn't need to be starting every game.
Right.
He just doesn't.
You still have Giroud?
We have Giroud.
So he's going to be your striker. Do you think he'll play?
I don't think he's going to be the starting striker. I don't. I'm going
Pedro?
I'm going Tammy Abraham.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's had a really good preseason. I think he holds the ball better than Giroud does. Giroud is a one-trick pony. Yeah. That's it. I mean, he's good at that.
Yeah.
But he's a one-trick pony. I think Tammy Abraham's going to be the starter.
Interesting.
Which is a big move because Chelsea don't like playing their youth and they haven't been known to. But I think Lampard's going to. I think he's pretty young.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get to our statisticians and figure it out.
I could see Pedro starting. I mean, I don't know your team as well as you do, but
21 years old.
That's not bad.
It's pretty young.
I mean, if he's gonna start Pulisic, I don't see why.
Well, one of them was a $70 million man, and one was not.
That's true. So where do you see yourself? Like early end of season prediction. What do you see Chelsea fighting for?
I'm going to say 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
I think that's a good place. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think. I think it's going to be a struggle. I think with Hazard, we're not going to score as many goals. Christian's just not a lethal finisher. He's not. And maybe one day he will be. And if he is, he'll be a world-class player. Yeah. Because everything else he's amazing at. But finishing, he's just not there yet. I think with Man United, I don't think they're going to be very good. If Wolfsburg can do what they did last year, then all hats to them. But I think we'll be fighting for 4th or 5th. Yeah, I think we'll be right there.
What about your defense? How do you feel about your defense? Didn't you guys got Zuma back?
Zuma's back, and I'm a big Zuma fan.
Are you?
I predicted Zuma way back before he injured his knee and really had to sit out for a long time. I really thought he was going to be the player who would step up and take over for John Terry. So I'm a big Zuma fan.
Interesting.
I think he's quality. I do. I think we're missing an outside back, to be honest.
Left or right? Because you have
we have Azpilicueta
on the left,
on the right.
On the right, okay.
On the right.
Who's your left?
On our left is Alonso, who's a striker. Yeah. He loves to get forward, and then Emerson. And Emerson's we don't know yet. He could be really good. I think we're still missing an outside back. Yeah. I'm a David Luiz fan. Most people aren't. I think he can play a sensational ball right to somebody's feet.
Right.
and I think his defense is enough to get by. So I think the defense is going to be the big concern of the season.
Right.
I think it is. I think we're going to give up a lot of goals. I suspect we're going to score a lot of goals. Though.
Right. Cool. Other than Hazard, did you guys sell anyone else?
No. No one like.
No one big?
No one big.
Okay.
It was the only big sale.
And you think Ross Barkley's going to step up?
Ross Barkley's going to have, I think, 25 goals and 15 assists. Based on his preseason form, the dude is dropping dimes.
Yeah.
He hit a free kick. They just curled
it was a good free kick.
into
It
the
was
corner.
really good.
Then his penalty was upper 90, or I'm sorry, it wasn't upper 90. It was nothing. There was nothing the goalie could do to stop it. I'm not a Ross Barkley fan, but based on his preseason, he's going to win the Ballon d'Or. Like it's set in stone. And if there's one person who can get the number 8 to be the best player on the team, it's Super Frank.
Yeah,
Super Frankie.
My prediction, I think Lampard's out of his element. I think he's in over his head. I don't think he's going to do well. I really like Frank Lampard's the only Chelsea player I would not have wanted to
How could
drown.
you not like Frank Lampard?
That's what I'm saying. He's the only one that I liked. I was like, drown the rest of the team, save Frank Lampard. Back when you had Drogba and Terry.
The man is the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, no, I like him. Like I said.
And he's like the ultimate professional, too.
Yeah. But I don't think he is a coach that's going to take... I don't care how well he did at Derby County. This is Chelsea. This is Champions League winner, Premier League champion.
But is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer better?
No.
Is Unai Emery better?
Yes.
I don't know.
I think he is. I think he's a coach.
I think the best players in the world don't become good coaches because they're the best players in the world and they don't understand why other people and other players can't do what they do. So I don't think Ronaldo, I don't think Messi, Michael Jordan would never have been a good coach.
Right. I agree with all that.
Frank Lampard wasn't an amazing player because he was just better than everybody, because he was just a better athlete than everybody. He saw the game, I think, just mentally better than most people on the field. What is he known for? His late runs into the box and score a goal.
Yeah.
His timing just has to be perfect on those.
Right.
And that's seeing the game 3 steps before they happen.
True.
Which is a coach.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like...
Okay, it's time to flip the script.
All right, flip it. Flip it.
Last season, Tottenham came into the season.
So...
Same squad.
Yes, we hadn't signed... It was the first time a Premier League team didn't sign a player in the offseason.
But the squad was very strong.
It was a strong squad, but... And you're giggling. This is not like an excuse. These are verifiable facts. No club team in the world had more players play more World Cup minutes than Tottenham. Not Real Madrid, not Bayern, not Chelsea, not Liverpool, not Barcelona. Tottenham had more players play more minutes in the World Cup than any team on planet Earth. Period. We had the most.
Did you guys start poorly?
We started okay. Most players didn't have a preseason. They came back a week, maybe 2 weeks at most before the season started. We started off okay. We won, I think, our first 3 games. We lost to what's the team in right north of London? The deer, the red deer.
The deer?
Yeah, they have a red deer. It starts with a W. Watford. We lost to Watford.
Is that what that is?
Deer? It's a deer it looks like a half dog, half deer. I don't know. It's a deer. Are you looking at it? It's a red deer. Look at it.
I understand what you're saying, but I just didn't realize it was a deer this entire time.
Yeah. So anyway, we lost to Watford, and then things started getting shaky. I think we made a really good push around the December, January, February mark, and then the injuries started hitting we got exhausted and we completely imploded from like the end of February to the end of the season. Harry Kane got hurt twice. He came back early both times. He came back early. He was not the same, and then he got hurt again, and then he came back for the Champions League final where he should not have played. And, other people stepped up, but we still had injuries left and right. So I think the team was exhausted.
You started the season 2-1 at Newcastle. Not the strongest competition.
No.
3-1 at Fulham. Absolutely not the strongest.
Yeah, correct.
3-0 at Manchester United.
Not the strongest competition.
At Manchester.
Not the strongest competition.
At Manchester.
Not the strongest competition. I'm saying it right now, Man United fans. Eat it. You guys suck.
Then you lost 2-1 at Watford.
Yeah, that's the one. And even the United game, like they dominated the first half, but they are trash and can't score. And then we scored the second half. But they were, it wasn't a good performance by us. But they're trash, so we beat them anyway.
Okay. At the end of this, with all of your
exhaustion and tiredness and injuries,
was it a good season?
No. Yes. Considering what we did with the squad that we had, with the injuries.
Which was a talented squad.
It's a talented squad, but it was an injured squad and a tired squad. We lost Dembele halfway through the season. Wanyama didn't play I think he played 5 games. Eric Dyer was hurt.
So you finished
Ben Davies
4th
was hurt.
in the Premier League.
Correct.
Got a Champions League spot.
Yeah.
That's a success.
That is a success, considering the fact that we were down 5-0
The
aggregate.
FA Cup. How did you do in the FA Cup?
We got to the quarters, I think. No, I think we got eliminated by West Ham, I think, early. We got eliminated early. I think it was the
Crystal Palace early in the 4th round.
Yeah, okay, so it was a nobody team that we lost to.
Right. But then
the League Cup was okay.
I wasn't going to.
Okay.
What is the other competition that you did pretty well?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We made the Champions League, all things considered. We were down. We were eliminated, essentially eliminated. And in 45 minutes, we made a comeback.
Remind me, were you watching that game?
No.
Did you watch the whole game?
I didn't.
What did you watch in that game?
The first half.
Okay.
I watched 0 of our goals. And I strongly believe to this day, you know me, I'm not superstitious. I think that's nonsense. But I will die saying that had I watched that, we would not have won that game.
I don't think you understand.
We're
in a group chat with another buddy of ours.
Yeah.
And we were both going crazy.
Yeah.
We texted you, I think, 120 times.
Yeah, I think I ended up, not just you, but other friends of mine, I ended up having 50-something text messages by the end of that. And the reason I stopped watching, and I bought this bar prep course to study for the bar. Mm-hmm. And there's a preliminary test, a 100-question multiple choice test that kind of gauges your baseline, whatever. So I stopped doing that. I was like, you know what? I need to be an adult. I need to watch this. So I started watching. I did the test. I finished the test. I look at my phone. I have 50-something text messages. I'm like, what happened? What happened that needed that?
The most insane comeback I have ever seen.
And then Pochettino moronically benches Lucas Moura in the final, which I think it was the leading cause of us not winning.
Not the penalty in the first 48 seconds?
It wasn't 48, it was 20. It was 20 seconds. It was objectively the worst call in Champions League history. But we still could have won that game. We had more shots than them. We had more of the ball than them. We just didn't put it on target. Because Harry Kane wasn't ready. I think.
So sum it up. Objectively a good season.
Considering everything, considering all our injuries, the exhaustion that we had, and missing Harry Kane for 33% of the season, I think it was a success.
But still, a trophy eludes you.
No, we won the International Champions Cup. And we just won the Audi Cup, so up yours.
Yeah. Well, I just don't have a response to that because it's such a strong argument.
You're right. And I'll go to my grave with it. So I've told you this before. I think last season I didn't expect us to reach the final
of the Champions League. I don't think anybody could have guessed that.
I think once we barely made it out of the group, right? We barely made it out of the group, and then we did okay. We barely beat City, which was another one of the. I think the quarterfinals and semifinals were cardiac. Like anyone with an iffy heart would have just dropped dead after both of those games. The City game, like we won 1-0 at Wembley, and then we go to the Etihad.
And it's a 4-3 game.
It's a 4-3 game with literally the 94th minute, no goal, VAR, no goal.
But I just like to jump in here. 4-4 is not a win, and it should not be a win.
It should have gone to penalty. Yeah, okay.
Away goals, home and away goals is
dumb.
The biggest fallacy in sports.
Yeah.
And should never occur.
I'm 100% with you. I completely agree with that.
The 4-4 game is a tie.
It is a tie.
It's a draw.
It is a draw. But that was a good game. I was at work and I missed it because I was at work.
Tottenham won 1-0.
At home.
Manchester City won 4-3. How is a 1-0 game better than a 4-3 game?
Because they let in 3 goals.
They won 4-3.
We won 1-0. They didn't score on us. I think those games go to penalties. I think that's the right thing.
I think overtime.
Yeah. No, I don't. Well, yeah.
Well, I think that game might have been into overtime. I can't remember. Was that game in extra time or no?
No.
No, it didn't go to extra time.
Because we won on away goals.
Yeah.
We scored 3. But that was a crazy. I just remember hearing I was working on a brief. I was writing a brief or something, and I had my laptop with I think it was the Evening Standard play-by-play, and I had my work computer. So I'm typing, and I glance over, and within the first 5 minutes, they had scored, and I was like, "Well,
that's it.
That was fun.
That's it."
Like if we had held out to the second half, I would have been like, "Oh, we're doing okay." So I finish, I write, I go, I get a cup of coffee, I come back, it's 2-1 us. I'm like, "What is going? Why am I here? Why am I at work? I should be watching this game."
Yeah.
But anyway,
you should watch the game at work. That's what us civilized people do.
Yeah, I don't think I was in a position to.
I have an office. I can close my door.
Yeah, at the time I didn't even have a wall.
So let me ask you, and I'm going to jump off the topic for a minute. Do you think a national competition like Champions League is made lesser when 2 teams from the same country are in the final?
I think no, absolutely not.
Do you think it's more interesting?
I think there are more undertones of rivalry. Because I think
they're designed for it to be the best 2 teams from different countries.
Yes. Yes.
I find it to be not as exciting when it's 2 teams who have already played each other twice in the year, have played each other in other competitions. To me, that's not exciting. I want to see Tottenham, Barcelona. I want to see Liverpool,
Dortmund.
Yeah. That's what I want to see in the final.
I agree with you. I agree, but I think it's more interesting for the rivalry aspect. Because if you play I don't know, Inter, I'm trying to think of somebody they probably haven't played. Inter, Atletico Madrid, let's just say.
That would be very exciting.
It would be a fun game, but there's no hatred between the teams. So there's no rivalry. Like when United and Chelsea played in the final, what was it, 2004? When United won it the first time?
Yes.
And they went to penalties and United won it.
I was 9 years old, so.
But tell me that wasn't a fiery, passionate game, teams that hated each other. I think in that respect, games like that mean more to the
2008, you're about 4 years old.
Oh, that was way off.
Yeah.
But I loved watching, for example, Barcelona United 2 years in a row, or was it 2 years in a row, or it skipped a year or something like that. But those games are fun to me because it's the 2 best teams in the world playing each other.
That's what I want.
Yeah,
was Liverpool, Tottenham the 2 best teams in the world?
Obviously not.
One team finished 3rd in their own league.
Yeah.
One team finished 2nd in their own league.
Yeah. I do think Liverpool at the time was the best team in the world.
Maybe. I think that's absolutely. But
better than City. I think they are.
I would have been more excited to see Liverpool Ajax. That Ajax team was just a Cinderella story.
I would have been more excited to see Barcelona Ajax.
Well, sure, but
because after last season, I'm firmly in the anti-Liverpool.
Oh
camp.
no, I was anybody but Pool. When you guys lost, I was so upset.
I wasn't. I used to be not out of the other big teams. I was Liverpool's the only other team I tolerate. After last season, no.
We have a lot of friends, and they might listen to this, they might not, but Liverpool fans are starting to become the worst.
They're insufferable.
They're starting to become the worst.
2 seasons ago, when they finished third, I think it was, or fourth, then you could tell like they were really good, but they weren't quite there yet, and you knew they weren't going to win anything.
Yeah.
They were okay fans then. Like they're just excited about being good again, and like Liverpool are back.
But
last season, I would punch every Liverpool fan in the mouth.
And I think it stems even from the Jurgen Klopp thing where like, oh, Liverpool doesn't buy all their best players, and then he goes out and spends the most money on a keeper ever in the market. Then he goes and buys the most expensive central defender ever in the world, and it's just like, you can't act like you're not a big club and then spend more money than everybody else.
Right.
And a lot of people who support Liverpool are like, well, we support Liverpool because, they're not Barcelona, they're not Chelsea, they're not Man City. Like, at the end of the day, as a Chelsea fan, I own it. We spend money. It's okay to be brash and, the big boys. But we're not anymore. Liverpool is, and these fans shouldn't act like we're a little club anymore who's doing big things. Right. No, you spent the money more than anybody. I get frustrated.
No, I get frustrated too. I think it stemmed from 20 years of nothingness.
Yeah.
But there was still that pride before. Like I could totally relate with them because they're a huge team. They're a huge club.
Absolutely.
Worldwide, but they weren't there on the field.
Yeah.
And then I felt like every time they got close, something bad happened. Like the Gerrard slip. Stuff like that.
Yes,
like
I remember that vividly.
So close to doing, because it was against you. It was Demba's only important goal ever.
Yep.
But it was things like that, and I could totally relate because for us, for Tottenham, like we were like almost qualified for the Champions League, and then we had bad lasagna the last game of the season, and the whole team gets food poisoning. Like those things only happened back in the day. They only happened to Tottenham and Liverpool. Like we were the unluckiest teams, right? So I could relate to their fan base. But I think this last season they felt so freaking entitled. You could just tell, like, oh, the season's are, and nothing satisfied me more than when they were top at Christmas, and no other team has been top at Christmas and not won it, except Liverpool. Except Liverpool the last time they did it, and before that, Liverpool again. So the last 3 teams that have done that have been Liverpool, and I think it's funny.
Yeah, and it upsets me that they went on and won the Champions League, but I don't count it because it was against a fellow domestic club. Yeah. So to me, they just won like the EFL Cup.
But
that's the value of it,
right? So, but you wanted to talk the same questions that I gave you about us. So because we kind of went on.
Let's go into the next. So last season, no transfers.
No transfers.
This season, big spenders though.
Well, I wouldn't say big. So last season we were in the middle of building the stadium.
Right.
And
there's something funds were tied up.
Yeah, but the other thing I think a lot of Tottenham fans don't appreciate is everyone's quick to go against Daniel Levy because, he's not buying players. He's not buying players.
Right.
But if you look at how he has transformed this club from a mid-table club when I started watching, we finished 11th the season I started watching, to being in the Champions League final in less than 10 years. So he's built one of the most modern, up-to-date, top-of-the-line training facilities in the world.
Yeah.
Right? The training facility, when players used to come watch it, like they would... One of the things they would say is like, this training facility is better than any in Europe, right? And then the stadium that he just finished is, by all accounts, the best stadium in the world, period. Like, everyone that's seen it, like, you have NFL players coming over to the Tottenham Stadium and saying, wow.
Well, I mean, if NFL players are coming over, that's it.
The other thing that he's a brilliant negotiator. He has this 10-year deal with the NFL. They're going to play NFL games in Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah.
It's got a retractable field for NFL games and then also football games underneath. He just signed the biggest the biggest kit sponsor deal in the Premier League with AIA.
So the business metrics are good.
So this is why. So when he didn't buy a player last summer, a lot of people were just upset.
But the team was strong.
This team was strong. Had we had a break, I think we would have done a lot better.
Right. What position would you have upgraded?
without a doubt, we need a better left back, a better right back, and we needed somebody to replace Moussa Dembele, which we got
this season.
this summer. Yeah, we just bought him, and then I think we need a long-term replacement for both Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld because they're both. I think Jan's 32. Toby's, I think he just turned 30. I'm not saying that's like...
that's the prime. That's prime years for center backs.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, eventually they're going to leave.
Sure.
And at that point, your body starts to get... Once you...
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Well, you injure yourself when you're 20 and you heal in like a week. When you injure your same injury when you're 30 and it takes like 5 months. I'm just telling you, that's how it works. So I think long-term there needs to be future looking at a center back, maybe 2 center backs. I don't think we need 2 because I think Davinson Sanchez.
You have Sanchez.
Davinson Sanchez is quality. I think he's going to be at Tottenham for a long time. But I think right back and left back, and I think we needed a Moussa Dembele kind of player because you could see our best 2 seasons under Pochettino were when Moussa Dembele was playing, and then he left, and then nobody did what he did. And Sissoko is like a powerhouse,
right?
But he's not silky smooth.
I would not define him as silky smooth. No.
So we got that now, but so what I say is a lot of people got angry because we weren't spending, but I think he's one of those guys that if the right deal isn't on the table, if the right player for the right price isn't available, he's not going to buy. He's not going to spend $100 million on a player just so we can have a signing. You know what I mean? Not only do we not have the money for that, but that's not the kind of businessman that he is. He didn't transform Tottenham by throwing money at problems. So that being said, we did break our transfer record with Tanguy Ndombele, which I was incredibly excited about.
$68 million.
That's not even a lot anymore.
I mean, it's still a lot of money.
It's a lot for us.
A 22-year-old for $68 million.
Did you see what he did to Barcelona and Manchester City in the Champions League?
Honestly, so to be fair, I'm not extremely familiar with him.
Yeah.
With that being said, they spent almost $70 million or pounds, dollars.
I think it was pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell me. Is he going to be the answer to all your problems?
I've seen him. So I watched the Barcelona-Lyon game, and the thing he took the ball from Messi. Nobody does that. He took the ball from Messi in that game.
No one's giving me a shot yet.
True. He just took it from him like multiple times in the game, and then he dribbled around their defense and midfield like against Rakitic and his fellow midfielders, like nothing.
Is he French?
He's French.
Is he going to play for France?
He's an international, all right. He's been capped.
Okay.
And he did the same thing against City. There was one of my favorite plays in his little highlight reel. He takes the ball from the City midfield, the Premier League winner,
best team in the league.
He makes this like 40-yard pass that curls at the last second into the path of the striker. The striker ends up missing, but the pass was immaculate. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be amazing. I think maybe not this season because the Premier League's not...
No, not easy.
League is not even on the same level as the Premier League in terms of pressing and the way the...
Just tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah.
The pass he made for Lucas Moura, when he was on the pitch for like 30 seconds, wins the ball in the air with the outside of his right foot, leaps up in the air, takes it with the outside of his right foot, takes 2 dribbles, and makes a pinpoint pass to Lucas Moura, who just slots it in. I think he's going to be phenomenal. I really do. I think he's the perfect replacement for Moussa Dembele. I'm super excited.
But how do you replace Kieran Trippier?
I think that was one of the dumbest things. Tottenham fans are the worst.
Joking aside, we have to talk about Vincent Janssen. And the reason why is...
Because he's going to Monterrey.
Because this is one of the times when we have the intersect of a club that one of us enjoys with our part of the world.
Right.
This doesn't happen often.
Right.
You know, a Premier League player going to a CONCACAF club.
Right.
And Monterrey is by far the biggest spenders, I think, in this hemisphere.
Yeah.
I don't even think continent. I think they're bigger spenders than Boca. I think they're bigger spenders than Santos.
Probably right now, yeah.
I mean, I think they are the biggest club. That's a huge statement signing, I think.
I think so. They make it to the final of the league and they lose to their bitter rivals Tigres, who have their own guy who came from France. And,
right, Gignac.
Yeah, I think he's like embraced Mexico completely.
Yeah.
Like
It's so interesting.
two of his both his sons were born in Monterrey now, and I think he speaks Spanish, and he's like he's got a statue outside the stadium or something.
Just the fact that these Liga MX clubs are buying players from Premier League sides, from top League One sides is so cool to me.
Yeah,
so cool.
The
day Atlanta United buys Diego Costa from Atletico Madrid or something. I mean,
but the difference is
so cool.
The difference is I think they have to be
not starters,
in their prime
in their prime.
Yeah. You can't have I'm not saying he's not good anymore, but Zlatan, he came here to retire and he's the best player in the league.
Carlos Vela is the best player in the league, and he is 29 years old. That is his prime.
Screw that guy.
Prime. 29 years old is your prime, and he is by far the best player in the league.
You think by far?
By far.
Okay.
I don't think it's close.
Okay. But whatever. I think they have to come in their prime. I don't think they can come here like Rooney or Pirlo or Zlatan. I think they have to come here in their prime. I think that's the difference. As far as Jansen goes, I always liked him. I'm really sad to see him go. I hope he does really well. I really do.
I'm going to take us on a tangent right now.
Go for it.
Because I love Carlos Vela. And if he was a U.S. American, I'd love to have him on the team.
He wouldn't play for the national team. That's the whole point why I hate him.
Carlos Vela, in half a season, at 29 years old in his prime, has 22 goals and 13 assists. 22 goals and 13 assists. The dude is an animal. Watch him play, and
I've seen him.
It's so fun to watch. I hate Mexico. I hate Mexican players. I love watching this dude play.
It's so frustrating.
I'm taking us so far in a tangent, by the way.
Here's the problem. The reason he's good here is because he doesn't have to try. No offense to the MLS.
I disagree. I think Bob Bradley, which is so ironic, is the one coach that has gotten the best out of him. Do I think he's in a lesser league? Absolutely. I'm not an idiot. I'm not an MLS psychopath. I like the league and I watch the league. 22 goals and 13 assists. I don't care who you are. That's still amazing.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot of
Bring Messi in and I'm not sure he hits those numbers. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
You can only do so much even if you're the best player in the team.
I just wish he had done this when he was in Spain. I really do. I don't understand why he couldn't be bothered. It's too hard.
I think Bob Bradley has hit the right buttons.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's so fun to watch. He's so good. You watch him play and he's tracking back on defense, and then he comes up, he cuts inside and just bends an absolutely beautiful ball.
It's very Arjen Robben like.
But it's top corner. Arjen Robben was like bottom of the net. Yeah. This is like upper 90 every single time. There's nothing you can do.
Imagine if he played for the national team.
All right, I've taken us off. Let's digress.
All right. So
back to,
one.
Back to the Spuds.
Yeah, so
I mean the Spurs.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. You can say that all you want. So yeah,
and London is blue.
Tanguy Ndombele, I think, is going to be a beast. I think he's going to do really well. I think it might take him a couple of months to get acclimated to the league, but I think he's going to do. We bought Jack Clark from Leeds for about $8 or $9 million and let him right back to Leeds. Season long, but he's only 18.
Yeah, he's a future.
Yeah, he's a
player.
future. Similar thing that we did with Dele Alli. We bought him for $5 million from MK Dons, lent him back, and then look at him now. Yeah. So Jack Clark's an exciting future thing. It's not here. It's not now. It's like you order something and it's coming in a couple months, and you're gonna be excited about it.
If they get Giovanni Lo Celso,
so that's our next big target. He's 22, 23? 23. Plays a similar role. He can drop a little bit deeper, kind of play like a Harry Winks role, or he can play like a Christian Eriksen role. I think if we get him, that's a huge win.
I have to say, he is one of my favorite players to buy in FIFA.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah. Hey, Sky. We have a guest.
A feline on the table?
A feline friend. I think buying him would be another, because remember, Dembele was being tracked by Juve, PSG, United, Liverpool, big teams. And he came to us. He said, I want to play for Pochettino. That was a huge thing. I think if we get Lo Celso, that's another statement buy. I think that would make Pochettino happy, and I think that would make the team better. I think it would create competition in the midfielder, which is, I think, our least problematic area. But better is better, and like if we have to push someone out to make the team better, then that's how it is.
Well, that's competition. That's what makes people better.
I really want him. Right now, the thing that's the sticking point is I think Betis is asking for like 70 million, and we're not going to pay 70 million for him. We're just not.
No.
We're not going to break our transfer fee, I think, a second time in the same summer.
Yeah.
The other rumor right now is like we're looking for Bruno Fernandes, I think, is his name. Is that his name?
Yes, Bruno Fernandes, the Portuguese player.
Portuguese, yeah. He's 1 year older. He's 1 year older than Lo Celso. I think he was like the number one target right now for United, but for whatever reason, I don't believe.
Well, they just spent like $400 million on Harry Maguire.
They bought him?
They bought him.
Ah, dumb. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's.
I like him. I've seen him a couple times.
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
For Leicester, I don't know.
What? N'Golo Kante played for Leicester.
That's true. That's true, but that was the championship.
And I think it's an $80 million deal. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but it's. I think it's all
good for Leicester. They made a lot of money.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, I wouldn't. He had like 20 something goals and 18 assists in what's it called, Liga NOS.
The Portuguese league.
La Primera, whatever. So I think he's definitely a good player. He's definitely a good player. I would prefer Giovanni Lo Celso.
Okay, but there's been the one rumor.
It's over. That rumor's over.
So we don't get to talk about it.
We can talk about it. We can talk about it.
Can we talk about it?
Do it.
Paulo Dybala.
Yeah. So there was this rumor that he...
Is that the one you were thinking about?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So there was this talk that he wanted to play for Pochettino because he's not going to get playing time at Juve.
He just doesn't start. He's an amazing player, and he can't regularly start for them.
Yeah. So the talk was that he was going to go to Tottenham because we wanted him. I'm like, all right, well, that's another place I don't think we need another player. Like we have Son, Lucas Moura, and Harry Kane score goals.
I think
at
some point though you take talent where talent
absolutely
is to be
no. If he came to Spurs, I wouldn't be like, why? No, I wouldn't say that. I'd be like, amazing.
Yeah.
That's a player. That's a caliber player that doesn't come to Tottenham.
That puts you guys into the next echelon for sure.
For sure, 100%. I don't think that's where we need to reinforce or upgrade. I think we're more in the need for a right back and a left back.
So this is just wishful thinking.
But that would be an amazing buy. But he's not. I don't think he's going to come. I didn't think he was going to come when the rumors came out, and I think now they're looking to trade for Lukaku, which is not a fair deal. It's like, you give me $100 and I'll kick you in the balls. That's what that is.
We don't have to edit that out, but we have to edit what I said earlier.
Lukaku is a kick in the balls. He is a trash forward, and I know that he's already scored like over 100 goals in the Premier League. So but he doesn't show up when it counts.
I would say he's one of those players that just lays it on when it's bad teams and scores like 4 goals and gets a ham bone.
Yeah, in
good games it just doesn't show up.
Well, we're talking about that Manchester United-Tottenham game that we won 3-0.
Right.
He had 3 wide open opportunities and he missed them all because he's not good. I forgot when it was. He finally scored a goal against one of the top 6 teams in the Premier League. All season long he had, and I think he scored like 1 or 2. He's not a good player. He's not a good. He's not a good
putting you on the spot. What's a good season after you've gotten your center defensive midfielder now? Or whatever Dembele is.
Yeah, Dembele. Yeah, so he's more of a box.
He's an 8.
I think with.
There's no World Cup.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like Harry Kane, I don't know if you saw. There's a picture on Twitter of him. He's ripped. Like it was raining and they were training, and it was raining, and you could see like his 6-pack underneath his warm-up shirt. This is the best shape he's ever been in. I think he needed that rest. I think his ankle is healed up. He's already scored a couple of goals in the in preseason. I think he looks really good. With the new addition, I think we're definitely a top 4 team. There's no question about that. We will finish in the top 4.
So is top 4 good for you? Is that a successful season?
I think that's what I'm asking. I think it's the bare minimum. I'm
What is
no
a
longer
successful season? I'll go back to my original question. What is
a successful season this year. I think we have the stadium, so that's not an excuse anymore.
Right.
Because I told you that was that was another huge thing. We were supposed to move in. We did move in. We're supposed to move in October. We didn't move in. We're supposed to move in Christmas. We didn't move in until like the last month. So that's no longer an issue. We have reinforcements. The team is healthy. I think we can definitely at least win one of the cups. I think winning a cup would be a very good start. And I think there's no reason why we shouldn't be challenging for the title come April. Like at the end of the season, we should still be in the title race. There's no reason why not.
Top two,
top 3. Yeah, at the very least, top 2.
Top 2, win a cup.
Win a cup. I think that's
it.
I think that's
so
where.
If you finish top 2 and you win the EFL Cup,
Yeah,
successful season.
Successful season.
I still think you're setting your standards so low, and I think this is. I mean, and Chelsea's the exact opposite, right? We have a coach who finishes top 3 with a depleted roster and wins the Europa League, and he gets fired.
Yeah.
So Chelsea, we are the exact opposite when it comes to fans. Like, it is best or nothing.
Right. But you have to remember, we haven't, like, you guys have been good for over a decade. You guys have been a powerhouse for over a decade. We have not.
But you said in 10 years you went from 11th place to where you are now. When does everybody give me a hard time? Because it's only been 10 years that Chelsea's been.
No, you got 2004 was when Abramovich came in.
So 15 years.
Yeah. And mind you, it wasn't like a progression. You guys, he came in, he bought the players, you won. How long did it take from when Abramovich bought the team to when you won the Premier League? A year? A season? You fired, what was the Leicester coach? The one that won the Premier League with Leicester.
Yeah.
Unbelievable that I couldn't remember his name. I can't remember, whatever. You're looking, okay. Ranieri.
Claudio Ranieri.
Yeah. You fire Ranieri. Yeah. You fire Ranieri. You bring in this doofus, and he wins you the Premier League. 2 years. Was it 2 years in a row, or like a year between?
You call him a doofus?
Yeah, Mourinho's a doofus. But am I wrong? Like, you won immediately. You didn't build. So from 2004 until now, Chelsea are a big club.
We've been the most successful club in the Premier League.
Yes, exactly. Since he bought the team, you guys have won the Champions League and the Premier League four or 5 times in the 15 years.
And FA Cups.
FA Cups.
Europa
Leagues. Exactly. So it's not the same. It's not the same from building a mid-table.
But at some point, you have to cross the line.
Yeah, I think this is like
and the EFL Cup is crossing the line.
I think any substantial trophy will cross that line.
And the EFL Cup is a substantial trophy.
It's
Okay.
You didn't see like City be so excited when they won it. Like, it's not like they were just like whatever. No, they fought for it. They wanted the trophy. They won it. They played hard. I think
if they win an FA Cup, I'll be happy. No. I mean, I'm not going to be happy, but I'll be happy for you.
No. Because here's look at how, for example, when we played Chelsea, we played Arsenal in the League Cup. Tell me the fans didn't care.
That's Tottenham versus Arsenal, though.
But if it didn't matter,
you could play them in a friendly game, and it would be the exact same atmosphere.
I don't think that's true.
I think so.
I think so. I think because it was a tournament. I think if they played it in a preseason friendly, it wouldn't be that way. I think
if they played darts, it would be the exact same. I think if you lined up Christian Eriksen and Aubameyang and they played horseshoe, you'd have 50,000 people standing outside watching them.
Maybe that's true. But the point is the players tried hard. The players wanted it. The fans wanted it. It's not as important, but I still think it's important. I think it's important to the players, and I think it's important to the fans. And I think this is the season that there's nothing to be like. We're not playing at Wembley,
right?
So that's why
there's no excuses to be made this season.
Last season, if you had told me like it's a successful season winning a trophy, I would have been like, that's beyond success. Up until like when we were at White Hart Lane that last season, I think if we had won something that season, I think that would have been okay. But we've been in transition.
I also projected them to win the league that season, if you remember correctly.
That last season at Wembley?
The last season when they played their full season
at White Hart
Lane.
Yeah, that was a really good season. Who won it? Did you guys win that? I think you guys won it that year. Yeah. I think the excuses are done. I think we've strengthened a key player that we needed. We're at home in this brand new stadium.
Actually, I chose 2 seasons back to back where I picked Tottenham. It was the season where we won it under Antonio Conte, and the season where Leicester City won it.
I disagree with the Leicester one. I don't think we should. I think once the season started and you're like, oh, we're fighting for this title, that's a different thing. But preseason predictions.
I think there were so many bad teams that year that was the year that you guys should have won it, and you which was a Cinderella story.
They beat everyone. They didn't just beat us. I remember watching them play every team, and they just did the same thing, and nobody could stop them.
When N'Golo Kante runs you over, he runs you over pretty good.
He doesn't run people over. He doesn't run people over.
He steals the ball.
That's not running over. That's the whole... Yeah, he's a good defender, but he doesn't...
Have I told you people have compared me to him?
Nobody's ever said that. Maybe like in height. You're 5'2" like him, right?
We're the same height, you and I.
But, okay, so prediction, I think we're going to be title challengers, and I think we need to win a trophy.
Okay, so let's sum it all up. Give one good last goodbye. Give me your top 4.
Top 4? I think it's going to be... This
is super early top 4.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to take the league away from City, so I think City's going to win it.
So City won.
I think City's won. I don't know how Liverpool are going to do. I don't know if they have another title challenge the same way that they had last year. I'm going to be bold and say Tottenham 2, Liverpool 3, Arsenal 4.
Ooh, I don't like that.
I don't like it either. I would much rather them have paid all that money and get relegated. Can we make fun of them super quick?
I mean, I could always make fun of them.
They bought this defender that nobody's ever heard of.
Pepe?
Saliba.
The defender.
For $30 million. He's 18 years old or some crap. Nobody's ever heard of him, ever. No, the first time I heard of him was when, allegedly, we were trying to steal him from Arsenal. They pay $30 million for him and then lend him back. Where did he come from? Etienne? Or something like that? That is...
To give them some kind of credit.
No.
Supposedly, they're not... Because I think it's a loan option. I don't think it's as bad as what everybody says it is.
They paid $30 million, they bought him, and let him back. I think that's the story. I think those are the facts. They bought... I think his name is William, right? William Saliba from Etienne. I don't remember the team they bought him from. It's a mid-table French league team, I think. I don't know who it was. They buy this guy for $30 million and then lend him back to the team that they just paid $30 million for. Now, you said maybe they're like installment payments or something like that. I don't know.
I don't think they're paying as much as...
It is for $30 million. It might not be lump sum, but it's definitely 30. But you don't even get to use them. I think that's ridiculous.
I don't know that. I mean, what about the $91 million winger they purchased from Lille?
Which one?
Nicolas Pepe, the one.
Oh, the one that
mutual friend is very excited about.
I had never heard of him. I know Lille's a good team, and I know he's obviously really good.
He scored like 22 goals and like 10 assists last
Obviously,
season.
He's really good. But I don't watch the French league, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to watch it here.
Yeah. So I had never heard of him, but I mean,
okay, so
he's super excited.
Your top 4.
I think
City, Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal.
Yeah. Now
I feel spited right now.
Now I think you guys are gonna. I think you guys are gonna struggle.
Like what? Like 10 or like?
No, I think you'll struggle for 6th. I think after that, you and United are gonna fight for 5 and 6. I genuinely do.
I mean, I said 4 or 5, so it's not that far off.
I think you're going to miss Hazard way more than anyone actually appreciates, and I don't think Lampard's a good coach. I don't know. Maybe he will be.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys win the league with the new manager thing that you guys do.
That's what we do. It's kind of our trademark thing.
Yeah. There's still some time left, so I don't know how we're going to, if any, strengthen. We're still in for Sessegnon as well.
Yep.
I think that would be the best buy out of the potential.
It would be very Tottenham buy, I think.
Yeah. He's young, he's good.
It would be your guys' typical buy.
Yeah. I think he's young. He's going to be made 10 times better on the Pochettino. I think he's going to be really good. So if we get him, I think things might.
I think if you get him, Fulham fans might slit their wrists because they love that dude. I mean, so
you have your Fulham jersey.
I mean, I have my Fulham jersey.
You're just a West London kind of guy.
I'm not a West London kind of guy, but my first Premier League game I saw last season.
Yeah. Well, they're Fulham and Chelsea are both in West London, so
that's
why
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I thought you were specifically saying
you're just a West London guy.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, the West London derby.
Not anymore.
Poor Fulham. See, yeah. I mean, I would like to buy him, and then Lo Celso would be a phenomenal buy, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's my top four. What's your top four?
I think it's going to be City. I think it's going to be Liverpool. I think it's going to be Tottenham. And this one's tough for me. I don't think Unai Emery is a good coach. I think they have so much talent that last year they should have done way better. I mean, if you put one of their two strikers on Chelsea, I think we have a chance to win the league last season. Like, I really do.
No, Lacazette and Aubameyang are both world class. Both of them.
It's insane to me that they haven't. So I don't.
That's
think
because their midfield
coach.
and defense is trash. That's why.
Their defense is trash, and that's why I'm going to go where I go right now, and I'm going to say Chelsea 4.
Chelsea 4.
No, I don't have to pick anything outside of that, do I?
You don't have to.
Okay.
Wolves 5th.
Wolves 5.
Yeah.
United 6. Arsenal 7.
That's funny. No, but I think we'll challenge. I think we'll make a bigger push. I don't know. I would rather win the Premier League than the Champions League. I think it's harder to win the Premier League than the Champions League. I'd like to see us make a push. I mean, after last year, I think all the fans were expecting a push for something similar, at least like quarterfinal semis. I think we have it in us too. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It was a pleasure doing this again with you.
We should do it more often.
I think we have time now.
I think we do have more time.
What are you doing next weekend?
I don't think I'm doing. I'll be watching. I guess the community.
The start of the Premier League.
Community.
No, the Community Shield I think is this week.
Oh yeah, Community Shield is this week. Yeah, I'll be starting. We'll be watching Premier League. That's what we'll be doing.
We'll be watching Chelsea United.
Is that the first game?
It's yep.
What a way to start. At least you get it out of the way. Because I think once the two teams hit their stride, it's a lot worse of a matchup.
I think we put 4 past them. It's gonna be 4-0.
That would be awesome. I think that would be hilarious, especially if they do buy Maguire.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, it's been good. We'll do this again.
Yep.
So as always, I've been Caleb.
And I'm Anthony.
And we are
The Rivals.